Should men be allowed to compete in women's sports? I'm pretty shocked that this is as popular of a conversation in the culture as it is today. It first started, I really believe, with Leah Thomas, who is a man who identified as a woman, as a swimmer at UPenn, and then started swimming in the women's league and started just destroying the competition because he's a biological male and just has different features, has a different physicality. And you might think it doesn't really matter in sports like soccer or badminton or darts or bowling or things like that. But what happens when it's sports that are designed around greater physicality, greater contact? This to me is not just, as much as people argue this is something that it degrades women's sports because it doesn't allow women to compete against their peers in a way that's fair, so that they actually can do their own, have their own sports. That's its own argument. But what happens when it comes down to injuries, lawsuits, even people possibly dying, women possibly dying because of the nature of contact in a sport like MMA, or in the case I'm about to show you right now, in rugby? Men playing women's rugby. I'm going to show you this video clip it's pretty jaw-dropping, of a guy on a women's team playing rugby, absolutely demolishing this young lady in a tackle. And then I'm going to share with you what our response should be. There's another video clip at the end of this video that's so encouraging, of a man who was coaching a women's sport and had to resign because of the foolishness, and the statement that he put out is really mind-blowing, really encouraging. But first, I want you to watch this clip and ask yourself, should men, I should say, biological men, be playing in women's sports? Watch this.
Australia, New Zealand's won the first three, Australia the last two. Chatfield takes it.
Jeez.
That ended up very dangerous. Joanne Lagona.
All right, look. Homie G is a dude. That's a biological man. And he just, great form. He just grabbed that girl and he just pile drived her into the turf. Are you kidding me? Homegirl could have broke her neck on that tackle. He just absolutely laid her out. Here's a replay. Jeez, man. Are you kidding me? That is mind-blowing. The dude, I don't really fully know this story, but my guess is the guy identifies as a female. Therefore, and everyone's like, "Oh, we don't want to offend. We don't want to be seen as bigots. We don't want to be seen as phobics. So let the gal play." And meanwhile, when you're letting this happen for one person because you care so much about one person's feelings, and you also fear man so much that you care so much about your reputation and what other people might think about you, what you're doing is you're actually endangering everybody else because you don't have the courage to stand up and say, no, this is wrong. It doesn't make sense. And we should not be tolerating this. Are you kidding me? What's the point of having a women's league if men can join it? If you were to look up, I don't have the stats for you right now, but if you were to look up what happens in prisons, in women's prisons, when men who identify as women are then transitioned and transferred into those prisons, look up what happens to the women in those prisons. Look at the data around assaults. Look at the data around everything you can imagine. Just look it up. Look at what happens when you create a society, a system that caters to this nonsense. These mental disorders is really what it is. People lose. You are putting people in harm's way because you don't have the courage to stand up and say, no, this is wrong. It's mind-blowing. I'm going to show you this clip of this coach in a second, but I do want to share with you because you might be thinking, how do we stop? How do we actually put a dent in this stuff that's happening? Well, a lot of the reason why this is happening is because you have giant corporations that are bought out by big companies, by BlackRock and these other massive VC groups. And they're forcing these companies, because now they're major stakeholders, now they're forcing these companies to prioritize these DEI initiatives. They're giving them ESG scores to basically say, hey, how woke are you? If you're super woke, you'll get our backing. If you're not, we're not going to back you. And so you have these companies that are promoting these agendas. And because we're everyday consumers, we're actually supporting these agendas by the things that we're purchasing every day. A simple way that you can at least slow the bleeding is to switch some of your daily consumption habits to made in America products that are non-toxic and do not produce woke messaging. I want you to check out switchwithcap.com. If you're somebody that buys toothpaste, if you're somebody that buys deodorant, if you're somebody that buys daily cleaning products, you don't need to fund big companies like Walmart or Target or Johnson & Johnson or Procter & Gamble that are creating products that A, are mostly toxic, that are making your family sick, and also are promoting messages that continue to propagate agendas like this, which are going to get people hurt and killed. If you want to call a spade. You might not be able to switch all of your purchases every day and every week and every month from those companies, but you and I can make small choices that end up adding up and making a big difference. Go to switchwithcap.com to learn more about this grassroots movement that I partnered with, and also to check out some of the amazing products, including Riverbend Ranch meat that can be sent right to your home, so you don't have to follow the World Economic Forum's agenda to get you to start eating bugs. So go to switchwithcap.com to check that out. Now, listen to this coach. This coach, the way that he responds to this issue is going to fire you up because he handles it with such tact, he handles it with grace, but he also handles it with unapologetic truth. And this is what more parents, coaches, teachers, pastors especially, need to stand up and take note of how this guy is handling it, because we know that people aren't the enemy, but we need to fight vehemently against this agenda that is really going to destroy people and destroy our culture if we don't stand up. So listen to what he has to say.
Hi, Dave Brown from Stand Tall. Last night, my wife and I resigned our head coaching positions for varsity and JV girls tennis at our high school we're at. For the last 25 years, I've coached varsity basketball, varsity tennis, coached in over 1,090 games, won 667 and lost 423. Have had a lot of success, but I finally reached the point where I had to resign last night because of boys playing girls tennis. And the reason we did is we're just not going to support boys playing girls sports. This is wrong on every level. These are not girls, they're boys saying they're a girl. They're playing a false sport, come back and play a girl sport and go back to playing a boy sport. All I have to do is change their paperwork at the district office. I'm not going to support it. I'm never going to lie to a kid. I'm going to support my wife, who was a pioneer in Title IX. And every other girl that's come along now expects every adult to do the right thing and protect them. We're not protecting girls now. K through 12 and women's sports. We're allowing men or boys to play in these sports. It's dangerous, it's wrong. We have boys in the locker rooms watching girls go through their get ready for practice or a match or a game. How wrong is that for a girl to have to endure something like that? What we would have called 5 or 6 years ago somebody going to jail is now acceptable in high schools and middle schools. This is absolutely wrong when a girl has to fear this, but she can't say anything. And if you're in a public school, at least in Oregon, you can't say anything, or you will be ostracized, you will be put down, you will be shamed, and you just don't have a voice. People can't stand up and say anything, but I will. I'm going to say this is wrong on every level. You should contact every school board member that you have in your area and say there's no way we're doing this. Contact administrators, but say it, and say it strong. Just do it.
Love it. This is crazy, man. I love that he had the courage to resign, he and his wife. But it's sad that they even had to do that, because imagine the level of influence that a guy like that, I don't know his whole story, but it sounds like from the success that they've had and the fact that he's unified with his wife about it, and you can just tell his heart about caring for these girls, that as a dad, I would love to have a coach like that be influencing my daughters. But the system in place is making it more and more difficult for people like that to do their job. So you and I, as we go into 2024 and beyond, we need to really make decisions that we are going to A, speak up, B, support people like this, and C, make decisions and the things that we purchase and the content that we watch. We gotta align our lives with the values that we say that we believe in. This is what it says in Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. It says, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter." We are in these days right now where people don't know which way is up, okay? And people are ultimately not our enemy, but we as followers of Jesus Christ, we need to make the decision that we are going to be the light of the world, exposing darkness, and the salt of the earth, preserving that which is decaying. This is our commission as believers and followers of Jesus Christ, that we would bring the kingdom of heaven to earth, that we would speak in truth and in righteousness, and that we would defend those who are not in a position to defend themselves, especially men. If you're a man watching this, this is a call for us as men, husbands, fathers, pastors, business leaders, politicians, cultural influencers, that we stand up for this next generation of girls. So let's do it together. Just as a final reminder, go check out switchwithcap.com to learn about how you can switch up your daily purchases of things that you would buy anyway from companies like Target, Costco, Walmart, big box companies that are helping that agenda move forward. You can start investing in made in America products and manufacturing, supporting American jobs that are not promoting woke messages and are also creating products that are non-toxic for your family. Go to switchwithcap.com to learn more. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Like it if you enjoyed it, share with a friend, and subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one.